everyone, today we are at Retromobile, the place to be if you are passionate about classic cars. This year the FIA has a booth with 3 cars to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the International Historic Commission and the Appendix K. The first car we're going to present is the Lotus 95T, and Richard Mille is going to talk to us about this car. Oh, hi Richard.
Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. We're in front of the Lotus 95T from 1984.
Exact.
In its iconic gold and black livery.
Absolutely.
So,
and driven by Mansell
and
himself.
What's so special about it?
So it's a very interesting car because it has a lot of different adventures.
So it led the 1984 Monaco Grand Prix,
yes,
with the finale with
exactly
Senna and Prost.
Exact.
The race got red flagged.
Yes. And this car was leading by far. Yes, very
yes.
well.
Okay. So we might take a look at the cockpit, if you can tell us about it, because
the major characteristic of the car is that, as you can see, the feet were very much before the wheels.
In the nose of the car.
So you can imagine in case of a crash. And behind you are the turbo engine that was really, really powerful. This car was really a wild animal.
The engine is the Renault is the same as the other Renault team in 1984. It's the Renault Gordini engine.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it was, I think, if I remember, 1 year before Senna came to drive for Lotus.
For Lotus with the same number.
You know, Lotus is a legendary make. It's a legendary manufacturer.
You can see in the cockpit that it's actually carbon fiber.
Yeah.
From the nose.
But still, at that time, with a manual gearbox.
Yes.
I would say drivers had to adapt themselves.
Yeah.
To the car. Honestly, to drive that car with more than 1,000 horsepower on the back and a manual gearbox, it was quite something.
It was a tough job.
Yeah.
But that's why we love those cars as well.
What?
Because they tell a story that's just bigger than the car itself.
It's a different era, but they were very brave.
They were quite brave, especially Mansell, which was known for being the bravest probably.
Exact.
So the rear wing is absolutely massive on that car?
Yes.
So it was the spec for a specific race or for?
No, not especially, for example, not especially Monaco. It was raced like that all over the year with, of course, you can imagine different angles
for the flap,
according to the track and the configuration of the track.
Yeah, because
it was like that.
And the rear tires are obviously extremely large because of the immense amount of power that engine was producing. Absolutely massive.
Yes, in period the size of the tires was really impressive.
And you see the rain light for rainy races like in Monaco.
Yeah.
Where obviously other drivers saw this specific one leading the race, if they could see anything.
The visibility was not fantastic.
Yeah. So I assume they were not seeing that much. But
anyway, no, it's a very interesting car with a nice history.
Thanks a lot for presenting that car.
We share the same values.
Exactly.
We love motor racing.
Exactly.
We cannot live without motor racing anyway.
No, we can't.
Yes.
Impossible.
Impossible.
Just impossible.
Yes, it's a virus and there is no cure.
So now we are next to the Citroen Xsara Kit Car from 1999, which is now part of the Appendix K. I'm with Didier Clément, who was test engineer at Citroën back then in 1999. So can you tell us more about this car?
Based on the Xsara, we modified several things. Really fast car because in fact we won 2 WRC events.
Against the big guys? Against
the WRC,
the proper
yes.
WRC cars?
Against the WRC, yes. In Catalonia and Corsica in 99.
A lot of people tend to think it's a car similar to the 306 Maxi, but as you told me earlier, the 2 cars are completely different.
25 years ago, Citroën and Peugeot were really separate. We designed every single part alone to be better than the reference of the 306. Except the gearbox and the electronic differential, every part are completely different.
and that is the car Sébastien Loeb won the French championship with as well?
I do not believe that it's the same chassis, but in fact it's exactly the same spec. And Sébastien Loeb won in 2001 the French championship with this car.
With that very kit car version of the Xsara.
Exactly, it was an amazing car, not so easy to drive because this car is really wide and really light, but really nervous. To win the WRC event, we need fantastic drivers.
So now that car is part of the Appendix K, which means it can race in historic rallies for the FIA. What does that mean for you?
This car, from my side, it's a legendary car because with Philippe Bugalski and Coco Chiarodi, we won 2 WRC events. It's also from my side, the starting point of all Citroen period in WRC.
Thank you very much. Now I think we have a message from Sébastien Loeb who talks about that car with which he won the French championship in 2001.
Bonjour à tous. Eh bien donc c'est une Xsara Kit Car que j'ai utilisée en 2001. C'est une voiture que j'ai adorée parce que justement les Kit Cars c'est des voitures très vives à conduire, qui fait plus de 300 chevaux, 2 roues motrices, mais qui prend plus de 9000 tours, donc des super sensations de pilotage. Je pense que ça a été une voiture très importante de ma carrière. Ça a été mon premier titre de champion de France. Donc en passant de la Saxo 1600 à la Xsara, au niveau sensation, c'était juste incroyable de pouvoir se battre pour le championnat de France pour la première fois et de le gagner. C'était top. Je pense que ça m'a beaucoup aidé dans la suite de ma carrière, à donner confiance à Citroën pour continuer à miser sur moi. Donc voilà, plein de souvenirs extraordinaires et puis voilà, donc une voiture que j'ai vraiment beaucoup aimée, que j'ai pas eu l'occasion de garder. Donc voilà, j'ai une 306 Maxi pour la remplacer parce que c'est assez similaire comme voiture, mais ouais, beaucoup de plaisir avec cette voiture. À bientôt.
So the last car of the day is that magnificent Mercedes from 1904. But first, Giuseppe is going to talk to us about the CHI. We are now in front of that Mercedes from 1904 with Giuseppe, the president of CHI. And I'm going to ask him what is the role of the CHI in the historical culture of automobile.
The role of the Commission is to put together the clubs of FIA interested in historic vehicles and the community in the world of the historic vehicles to make people understand the importance of the heritage of historic vehicles. It's something very relevant that at the end of the 19th century the automobile has changed the habits of the life of humanity and changed completely the mobility and the tourism, which is the pleasure to see this car still running, because they are not a piece for the museum, but it is a running museum on the roads.
So this Mercedes itself is quite iconic. Can you tell us more about this specific one?
Yes, it's very iconic, but I would like to leave this pleasure to my Vice President Jeremy Vaughan, who proposed us to have this car in the stand.
Thank you. I'm now with Jeremy Vaughan, the Vice President of the CHI, and he's going to talk to us about that magnificent Mercedes from 1904. So can you tell us more about that very car?
Well, good evening everyone. I mean, we are very privileged this evening to have this magnificent example of this Mercedes 1904 Simplex. That was the model. If you look at this car today, of course it looks rather old, but I have to say this in 1904 was a very, very modern car in terms of its brakes, in terms of its chassis, in terms of its luxury. You know, this car then could take 4 passengers in great luxury at 60 kilometers an hour. I mean, it is quite incredible when you think of it in those terms. Only 34 horsepower and over 5,000 cc. So it is a magnificent machine. And on top of that, this car still participates in the London to Brighton veteran car run every year. So 60 miles, from the centre of London all the way to Brighton on the seashore. So again, we are privileged to have this fine example of this magnificent car on the historic commission stand tonight.
Thank you very much for presenting that very fine car.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
At Retromobile, the FIA is celebrating innovation, engineering brilliance, and automotive history. We hope you enjoyed that journey with us, and we hope to see you on track very soon.